How y'all doing? Your boy Lord Thaddeus Cray, obviously. Alright, this is something that's very interesting. I put up something, bear with me. I put up something that was kind of my own personal belief up on Facebook. And it was involving just a couple of things. But it brought up a conversation with a gentleman that is fairly smart. Leave it at that. And it involves cults. And this is something, first off, I want to wish everyone a lovely holiday, just in case I don't get that chance to wish anyone that later on, because I'm not going to be home. So I figure go ahead and get that out of the way. But now, back to the subject at hand. Cults. Cults are a very interesting phenomena. Excuse me. They're also a very dangerous phenomena, obviously. What is a cult? A cult can be many different definitions. Sometimes religions start out as a cult, such as I'm just saying anything. Some people might even say Christianity started out as that way. Now I would disagree because to me it's the faith and it's a way of life, but that's just how things work with some people. That is simply between them and God. My point is this: that can be a possibility. Sometimes a small movement of a certain select group of people starts out as that. And of course, you have one individual who seems to be benefiting. He's the leader, or a group of select individuals that benefit from the attention of the members, whether it be financial, attention, sexual favors, whatever. There's bad stuff all the way around in many cases, but not always, ironically. Excuse me. Ironically, sometimes the leader of a so-called cult might actually have decent intentions. Maybe he starts out with that way and becomes corrupted, or she, or whoever. Or sometimes they legitimately believe what they're saying is the right thing. Saying, never stare into the eyes of a fanatic. And there's some truth to that. Believe me, I've come across some. You guys already know through one of my videos I put a while back that I have dealt with a cult. It ain't cute, it ain't fun, it's awful, period. Just gonna leave it at that. But, on the other hand, I'm gonna also describe the other part of a cult, which is fascinating in itself. And that is many times people, and this happened with my uncle. I'm not going to mention no names, obviously, but it was my uncle. Just leave it at that. And my uncle, he was a good guy. I'm not going to say he wasn't. He taught me a lot. He actually opened my mind in a lot of ways. But he got perverted in a lot of ways with, I want to say it was a man named Bob Thiem. The man's dead, and believe me, his movement, I'm not sure it was still strong or not. I sure hope not, because I know it hurt a lot of people. But I think it was a perversion of the Mormon faith, or maybe the Latter-day Saints. I can't remember which, but it was a bad situation. And my uncle used that to create literally a cult-like setting in his own household, which is crazy. This dude was married to 3 women, supposedly. I mean, it's just crazy, dude. I mean, I'm serious. It's nuts. The thing is, this man was extremely charismatic, fairly smart, too. That he had issues like learning disabilities and stuff, that don't mean a thing. I mean, hell, I have learning disabilities. I know I'm not a genius by any means, but I'm not a dummy either. This man was smart. This is what I'm trying to tell you. But he was also a wee bit crazy. But that charisma and that intelligence allowed him to literally create his own cult. Now, I miss him, like I said, he died of a disease that killed him when he was fairly young. But at the same time, I'm going to be honest, he hurt a lot of people. That's the danger of cults. What does a cult thrive on? Number one, it thrives on your emotion. It thrives on your emotion as well as, and sometimes can also appeal to your intellect as well. Think about like Scientology, for example, or there's another one that, excuse me, I forgot the bastard that did this. He hurt a lot of people, but he got a lot of Hollywood types. He was in charge of the NXIVM cults. I mean, a lot of people got hurt with that. A lot of people lost a lot of money. And the thing is, this guy was smart, brilliant, Hollywood type. But the thing is, people like this count on one thing. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want the group to think for you, or themselves to think for you. That way they can basically pervert whatever it is you're trying to do. And and this is a dangerous thing, not just for your body or your mind, but obviously your soul. I cannot, believe me, as in case you ain't figured out, I'm not a big fan of cults at all. Matter of fact, I have a very low opinion of most of them. And of course, I'm not going to go into politics. That's ain't what this channel's about. But there are certain things that I do put out. And how does a cult feed into the paranormal? Well, think about it. Think on this. You have people, and the thing is, many people who are roped into these things ain't stupid. They're smart. And they're fairly financially stable and rich even. And they're desperate for some kind of hope. There's some kind of void in them. And these cults offer basically a way to fill that void. And there's a lot, of course, what many of these leaders are powered by, not just their own emotions, their intelligence, which is many times fairly high. Make no mistake. They're a vehicle for something. That's where the paranormal comes into. These people, many times, are a vehicle for entities that, of course, how can I say this? Think of a dictator. I'm not going to go quite that cliche. Let's think of, I think it was D that put up about Jim Jones. Think about it. This man had a supernatural amount of charisma. And he professed to be a Christian, too. Again, this is where many times cults pervert from the religion. Well, of course, as I said many times, religions start out as cults. I mean, it's just crazy how this stuff works. Okay, you can't make this shit up. But I'm going to tell you this right now. This man was a very powerful demagogue. He was very capable of speaking. He was a master orator. And of course, what did he do? He got a bunch of people roped up, and I think in another country, I can't remember where exactly, I think it was in Guyana, I could be wrong on that he had all them people killed. They committed suicide by freaking poison-laced Kool-Aid. Children even died. It was horrible. Evil shit. Another one is also, there seems to be a spirit of self-destructiveness in some of these cults. I'll give you an example, which is very true. And that would be the Waco mess. David Koresh. That man actually thought he was Jesus Christ, and he was completely, make no mistake, he did some evil stuff. Of course, the response to it I don't think was much better, but at the same time, that's neither here nor there. I think that as time goes on and people find out the truth and realize they're being lied to, I think that'll come into the light more and more as time progresses, and I look forward to seeing that in some ways. I think, as I said before, we're going to be in an age of wonders. Another thing is with cults, like I said, many of these leaders or individuals are supernaturally charged. That's what makes them so powerful and dangerous if you don't keep, for me, it's being prayed up as best I can. I know many times I fall short of that. But at the same time, you really have to pay attention to these things. It's very easy to fall into the hands of someone who is, if you don't think for yourself, or are desperate, it's very easy to fall into the hands of someone who ain't got your best interests. Just going to leave it at that. I figured this would be an interesting topic. Something a little different than the usual cryptid-related stuff that I put up, or even mental health stuff. But I figured I should just go ahead and put that out there. Again, I wish you guys a very lovely holiday. I hope you guys truly enjoy yourselves this Christmas. Be blessed and be safe.